pleasure to welcome you to Columbia University. I'm part of the computer science department, but today in the DTL, I'm part of a greater community of people who are working on a very important problem that we will discuss during these days, which is reconciling big data with fairness and accountability. I just want to make a 1-minute introduction to explain you a little bit the specificity of DTL 2016. As you know, 2016 is a year like none others, and this conference will also actually be very special. Not only because we have so many examples in the press of concern and controversies among the use of data, and I could start a list, but I know you will have in the future panel and the workshop that we organized way more occasion to learn about that. But maybe one thing that we really care a lot in the DTL community is to bring solutions to that problem. It's very important to report on what are potential threats to our society and our values, but for a while there have been research scientists, computer scientists, and others engaging in building solutions. For a while, those solutions were essentially building privacy, which means preventing data to be released in the first place. And a few years ago, other solutions started to emerge that DTL wanted to embrace and promote. One of them is called, that we generally call fair use, is to enforce that the algorithm will have a fair outcome. Of course, with a particular definition of fairness, that becomes one topic we have to discuss. And if you want to learn more about that, our conference will organize a workshop about this specifically. But before I talk about it, a second solution that was sort of promoted in the last few years is to build tools for revealing transparently data usage in large black boxes that are big data system deployed. So these are the sort of 3 pillars of our community: building privacy-enhancing solution, fair use, and transparencies. The privacy has been sort of an established research topic for a while, and those 2 others are emerging research areas in which the DTL conferences wanted to be instrumental in promoting more research. So there will be co-located with this conference 2 workshops related to those topics. The first workshop, FatML, will take place on Friday. And the second workshop, called DAT 16, will be organized on Saturday. Those workshops are co-organized with the conference. They are organized not in this room. They are in another auditorium in NYU, so that you have a chance of seeing different parts of New York in your same trip. During the conference, we wanted to essentially leverage those 3 pillars to promote other work that are doing that, and we will see more of the grant and the posters and the travel grant that receive support from the DTL community to build tools for that. And more specifically, we will also engage during this first day and a half to discuss emerging theme, important emerging theme on what applications of big data we are seeing emerging. Today and tomorrow, we'll discuss computational journalism and data for societal progress, with a panel of experts that will describe how data transparency means and risk and opportunities in those domains. And we will also discuss more transversal themes that we as researchers do not necessarily discuss in our conferences. We would like to sort of engage in broader issues that relate to interface and design for users, the economics of data and the economics of data transparency, and also how this help informing regulation of policy. And there will be also today a specific panel at the end that discussed specific tools in which companies that would like to engage in transparency can start addressing the problem internally. So this is how we structure this conference around emerging things and sort of key technological components that we would like to discuss and promote. And with this sort of introductory remark, without further ado, I would like to give the floor to Pablo Rodriguez and Ramon, who will discuss more the DTL and the organization of the conference. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Is this work? Yes, it is working. Thank you, Agustin. And so I'm Pablo Rodriguez. I'm the director of the Data Transparency Lab. I've been in this role for 3 years now, and probably the last year. By design, I think when we started this, we made a conscious effort that this should be a community thing, and I think we're making huge progress. I remember the first grant was granted at Columbia University about 3 years ago to understand the value of personal data in advertising. And we had the first meeting in Barcelona 3 years ago. It was 75 people. Last year it was a meeting at MIT, and it was 150 people, and this year is 200 people plus the co-located 300 people plus, so it's 500 people. So you can see it's a sizable community, and to me this caught me by surprise, the fact that there is so much interest in data transparency and awareness. And it comes back, you know, if you look at the early pieces of work, I don't know, I don't see Bala here, but you'll get a chance to interact with him, trying to understand tracking that was happening on social media through cookies, or the work that Nikos, that is there, was doing on the price discrimination, to the amount of grants that we're granting now, and the plethora of papers and tools that are appearing, to me is astonishing. And I think it's credit to you and all the community that is engaging and participating. This year we granted another 6 grants on a top work that is going to produce some fantastic results. We hope to see during these two days. Work around identifying personal information on Twitter, or leakages that are happening on your mobile phone, how much your data is valuable. All those things we're going to see it during these days, and we're also going to see some of the results of the grants that were given during the last year, and some of the people that are coming, and you'll see with on the poster sessions, together with the travel grants that we've given. You know, in addition to the grants for the grantees, we also try to promote more students to come and engage with the community. About 50% of the people have come from academia, 30% are coming from industry, and 20% other organizations, you know, activists and people that care about transparency. And we're welcoming 2 new members into the Data Transparency Lab. That is INRIA, that's the research institute in France, National Research Institute in France, and AT&T. I think we have José Luis there in the room. And I think that's it from my side. You know, thank you so much to Agustin for offering this year to organize, and enjoy and talk to as many people as you can, and make this yours. It is yours. So Ramon, it's all yours. Yeah.
I have 2 mics now. So wait.
Yes.
Yeah. So yes, just to remind you what's going to happen today. We are starting with our user-centric session. Basically, is putting design as our big thing, right? Something that is more than just bells and whistles. Something that is more fundamental and connects with the real needs of people, and how to construct something that's usable in the terms of personal data and transparency. After that, we are going to have the look from, let's say, the critical part of promoting awareness of transparency and fairness, privacy, etc., with people from the journalism profession, and they have been very involved in several new initiatives to actually make people understand what's at stake with all this, and especially how they work with personal data to fulfill their mission, right? And then finally, we are going to have today the industry session, where we are trying to answer this question: how to create a company that is transparent, how you can have a company that is on the side of the user, so to speak, so that the user can understand what's happening with their data, and decide what to do with the company, and how you can build a new business cases out of that, and survive in this very competitive environment that we are in, right? So this is what's going to happen today. Tomorrow more to come. And basically, we also show in the lobby, you can interact with people that have been awarded travel grants. Some of them, you can see very important questions, like, for example, how your metadata can just reveal things about your identity, or, for example, how really to manage privacy in a mobile and contextual platform. And other ways, finding, for example, transparency in ranking. We've been doing a lot of ranking grants, right, that are able to just go through information out there and then rank either companies or services in terms of the type of levels of transparency that they're using, right? So please go out there, interact with the people that have been awarded these grants. They are all there for you to interact with. Best them with questions, and probably something new will come up for them and for you, right? Other things, we are going to use a screen I/O today. So if you have questions, just go there, post them, and the chairperson actually managing each panel can just moderate them. And if it's kind of a small place, if if something of this doesn't work, which I know they work very nice, but just in case, we still will have microphones, which as the last resort, right? And finally, I will also to stress something that I've been very vocal in this committee from the very beginning, which is artists, right? We invited artists to collaborate with us. We did this. You may remember the ones of you that were at MIT last year. They would have artistic performance dealing with emotions that were connected with knowing that your data is floating away out of you, right? And today we have Roman Torre that is there, who will be at the lobby also, showing his last work, which is called Zero. Basically, it's an object that explores the concept of privacy as a sacred thing, right? And this object, you will see, it has different ways of showing your privacy, the status, or hiding it, right? And this is a very beginning of a very creative path that we want to take to explore later how this can become other type of object, or other type of service, or other type of product, or other type of thing to discuss, right? So that's the idea of this type of speculative approach to the problems that start from a very metaphorical point of start and then develop into something else. So that's what I only have to say for you. I am the one organizing this, so anything that goes wrong is my fault. Anything that goes well is your success, right? So I will be happy to try to help you in whatever comes up. And I will also you to know my staff here. You have Albert there, don't hide. He's managing a lot of things, dealing with Skynayo and other things. You have Jessica for anything, right? Almost. And you have Rafa there with tweeting. But if you need anything, just contact any of us. And you have also the volunteers out there. So my very warm welcome to Colombia. And let's start working, right? Thank you.